All right, hey everyone. Today we're going to take a journey, a trip back in time to ancient India. We're going to explore two incredible spiritual paths that have literally shaped billions of lives. It's a story about many gods, one prince, and two very, very different answers to one of life's biggest questions.
And that question, it's one we've all wrestled with, right? What is the real path to inner peace? For thousands of years, people have been searching for the answer. Our search today is taking us to a time and place that was just buzzing with spiritual innovation.
So we're setting the scene in ancient India. And you gotta understand, this place wasn't just some crossroads for trade and culture. It was more like a vibrant laboratory for spiritual ideas. It gave birth to philosophies that people still follow all over the world today. Okay, so let's start with our first path. This one begins with the foundational faith of the whole region, Hinduism. And when I say ancient, I mean ancient. This is a tradition with roots so deep they go back further than recorded history.
Now, what's so interesting about Hinduism is that, unlike a lot of other major religions, it doesn't have a single founder. There's no one prophet. Instead, its wisdom comes from this collection of ancient sacred texts called the Vedas. They're written in Sanskrit, and they really form the bedrock of this incredibly diverse faith.
So while Hinduism is known for having a ton of deities, there are three main gods who are kind of like the superstars. They're seen as representing this huge cosmic cycle that keeps the whole universe in motion.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly. First up, you've got Brahma, who is the creator. Then there's Vishnu, the protector. His job is to keep the cosmic balance, and it's said he's lived on Earth in 10 different forms, or avatars. And finally, you have Shiva, the destroyer. Now don't let that title fool you, his role isn't a bad thing at all. It's about clearing out the old to make room for the new. It completes the whole cycle, creation, preservation, and then rebirth.
And now, let's turn to our second path, because emerging from this exact same rich landscape came a totally revolutionary way of thinking. This one wasn't sparked by ancient texts, but by the incredible personal journey of just one man. And that man was a prince named Siddhartha Gautama. He had been sheltered from any kind of hardship his entire life, but then, one day, he finally saw the reality of sickness, old age, and death, and it shook him to his core. So he did something drastic. He left his palace on a quest to figure out the root cause of all this human suffering and hopefully find a way to end it for good.
So after years of searching, Siddhartha finally achieved enlightenment while meditating under a tree, the Bodhi tree. From that moment on, he was known as the Buddha, which means the awakened one. And his very first teaching, it wasn't a bunch of divine rules. No, it was more like a clear, logical diagnosis of the human condition.
He called them the Four Noble Truths, and honestly, you can think of it just like a doctor's visit. First, the doctor tells you the diagnosis. Hey, all life involves suffering. Second, the doctor explains the cause of the illness. It comes from our desires, our attachments to things. Third, the good news, the prognosis, there is a cure. And finally, the doctor hands you the prescription, a clear path you can follow to get better.
And that cure, that key idea, is detachment. Now this is so crucial. This doesn't mean you become cold or that you stop caring about things. Not at all. It means freeing yourself from the craving and the clinging that always leads to disappointment and pain. It's all about finding a stable inner peace, no matter what's going on around you.
Okay, so if detachment is the cure, how do you actually do it? Well, the Buddha didn't just leave people hanging. He laid out a very practical, step-by-step guide for living, and it's called the Eightfold Path. This path is basically a how-to guide for every single part of your life. It's broken down into these 8 connected practices, covering things like right speech, not lying or using harsh words, or right action, acting ethically, not harming others, and right mindfulness, which is all about being fully present and aware in every moment. It's really a complete framework for living your life with intention.
And where does this path lead? What's the ultimate goal? It's called nirvana. And nirvana isn't some physical place like heaven. It's a state of profound inner peace and total liberation. It's the point where that cycle of suffering and desire and reincarnation finally comes to an end.
So let's put it all together. Here we have two really profound traditions. They were born from the same spiritual soil, but they offer pretty different paths. On one side, you've got Hinduism, with its ancient texts, a focus on cosmic duty and all its deities. And on the other, you have Buddhism, which really zeroes in on a methodical, personal path of self-discovery to overcome suffering.
Both of these traditions offer a path to a higher state of being, to a really deep kind of peace. And that brings the whole question right back to us, doesn't it? In our crazy modern world, full of distractions and desires, What can these ancient ideas of cosmic duty, mindful detachment, and inner awakening, what can they teach us about our own search for peace?